Okay, so how you guys doing? Today I have my plug wires and spark plugs. So I think I can replace those old ones and get that put in there. I'm still waiting on my points to put the points and condenser in, but since I did get it firing with those old points a while ago, I think that I'm okay with just replacing what's in here. So what do I have to do? Well, I guess I got to remove the old plug wires. There's 6, 5. Some people tell you to do these one at a time, but if you're smart enough to remember where they go, it's not that difficult, especially on a slant 6, since the way these work is they go from the furthest outside on the odds to the furthest inside on the odds, and then it goes to the furthest outside on the evens to the furthest inside on the evens. So what does that mean? It means 1, then we go to 5, then we go to 3, then we go to 6, then we go to 2, and then we go to 4. Pretty simple. It's not that hard to do, and it just goes around, and the cap is marked as 1 on there. So really, if you can't remember 6 numbers in a row, you got your own set of problems. Okay, so here we go. There's the old wires. Goodbye. Now I have to remove the old spark plugs. I didn't put them in there very tight, probably hand tight, so I could probably get by with just sliding these out. So there comes number 4. If you want to see what it looks like, kind of looks like that. Not too bad, but still want to replace them. So that's number 4. And that one's a little bit tighter. So let's break him loose. There it goes. All right. This is number 3. I know I promised you guys a compression test, but since the engine isn't running yet, still waiting on the points, still got to figure out the fuel. I don't know if it's going to be all that worthwhile to do one, but here's spark plug number 3. Now we'll go over to 2, and that one's a little snug. And we pull that one out. Yeah, and I know I probably got to replace those O-rings around those spark plug sleeves, whatever you want to call them. All right, there's another one. Come on, get out of there. Why are you sticking? Come on, get out. There she goes. All right, so there is number 2. Yep. Get her in focus. Put that back. Number 2. Now let's see if I can get on number 1. Number 1's over there really tight in this hole. You see it in there? Come on. Can't do it with my right hand, so let's try the left. There, it finally slipped in. And again, that's a little tight. So let's break it loose. Woo! You know what I should do? Let's disconnect the battery. Don't need that going. There we go. Move that out of the way. Now, that one's broke loose. Come on, get out of there. Come on. Okay, I'm gonna have to set you guys down for a couple seconds here. I'll be back when I get that one out. I need 2 hands. Okay, there's number 1. Looks like there's a little oil on it, so that oil changed from yesterday when I cranked it over. It looks like oil is starting to get to the top of the cylinder. So let's go put that back. That's number 1. Let's push that sleeve back in. There we go. Slide down here to number 5. Break it loose. There she comes. All right, number 5. I mean, none of them look burnt, so when they put it away, it wasn't the worst engine in the world. Now we go to number 6. I did break these loose and put WD-40 down them just to wet the top half of the cylinder when I first got it, so maybe that's where some of that moisture is coming from. There it is. Okay, there's number 6. Got a little bit of gunk on there when I pulled it out, but not too bad, not the worst. Okay, there's the 6 spark plugs. What did they have in there? Looks like champions, or at least one. Looks like 5 champions and 1 oddball. What was the oddball? AC. So 1 AC and 5 champions were in there. Alright, now let's get to the other stuff. Okay, so I went and checked all of the old spark plugs. They were supposed to be gapped at 35 thousandths, and they all came pretty darn close. They weren't far off if they weren't right on the money. So that means I need to go ahead and double check these to make sure that they're gapped at 35 hundredths. And let's see if I can set this camera up where you guys can see what I'm doing. So here's my spark plugs. And I'm going to move down just a little bit so you guys got a little bit better view. Let's see if you can see where I'm at. Yep, there we go. Open it up. They're supposed to be pre-gapped. Let's see if they are. That one, pretty good. That one's a little tight. There we go. Now it's where it's supposed to be. That one's good. That one's just a hair tight. Good now. That one's good. And that one's just a hair tight. There we go. Now it's good. Okay, so there's my spark plugs. They're ready to roll. Now I gotta look and see. I think, yeah, I checked the torque spec on them. They're supposed to be at 30 foot-pounds. So I had to dig out the big guns here, and I got it set to 30 foot-pounds. That's Newton meters. There's 30. There's the 0. I'm right on 30 foot-pounds. So let's see. I grabbed me some dielectric grease, and let's go put these on the truck. Okay, back over to the truck. And let's see here. How am I going to do this? I'll put you guys right here for now so I can set everything down. And put things kind of where they're got enough room for me. Okay, now I guess we can start with any cylinder. Oh, guess I forgot to hit play on the first one, or record on the first one. So here's the process. So I got the spark plugs all gapped. Now I just need to pull them out of the package again. Take the protective sleeve off of it. Grab my socket, which, hold on, I need to use two hands to pull that off. Then I am going to put the spark plug at the end of the socket, put it in the cylinder, or in the hole, and carefully thread that into the hole using righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And then I'm going to run that all the way in. Okay, once I get it as far as I can get by hand, then I'm going to grab my torque wrench and tighten this until it gets to the 30 foot-pounds required. There you go, 30 foot-pounds. All right, now I'm just going to repeat it for the remaining 4. Then I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, now that I've tightened them all down, always make sure you store your torque wrench backed all the way off before you put it away. So now I got that down, now I can put this away and it's ready. It'll be ready to go the next time I use it. Would have used my 3/8, but it didn't go up to 30 foot-pounds. Now I'm just going to put away the rest of my tools. Forgot one. Put away the ratchet. Put away the adapter. Put away the extensions. And I always just throw the spark plug socket to the side. Alright, that part is done. Alright, next thing, I got spark plugs and I can get rid of, let's get rid of the trash. And of course I can't pick all this stuff up. So let's see what I can do here. All these little things I don't need anymore, so I'm going to throw them into a box. So I can grab all this stuff. And let's find the trash can. And done with that part. Okay, next thing. Spark plug wires. Let's see if I can put this camera someplace where you guys can see. How does that look? Let me see. Not good. You need to be way out over there, don't you? Actually, you need to be right about there. Right about there. So if you're looking at this cap, you'll notice that number 1 is marked. Let's see if I can move this light so you can see it. See how number 1 is marked on that one lobe? So 1 goes over there. So let's see here. What can I do? Let's put that down. Let's grab my new wires. Pull those out. And warning, may cause irritation. I wonder if that's dielectric grease. Of course, I can't read whatever their language that is. Warning, may cause irritation. Keep out of reach of children. Huh. Or I can just use the stuff I've had for years. Let's go with that. Okay, so what do I have here? I got several different lengths of wires. Oh, that one has the same or similar ends on both sides, so this must be the coil wire. That one's shorter than that one. That one's about the same length as that one. That one's a little longer than that one. That one's about the same length as that one. And that one's about the same length as that one. Okay, so with the slant 6, since the distributor cap is pretty much in the middle, you got 2 long ones, so those will go to 1 and 6. 2 middle length ones, those will go to 2 and 5. And then the 2 short ones will go to 3 and 4. All right. Next step. Okay. Need to think about putting dielectric grease on this stuff. Huh, these are different sizes. I wonder which one goes on the coil and which one goes on the cap. I would imagine the bigger one probably goes on the coil. Yep, looks like that fits better there. Alright, so what am I going to do? I'm going to take the dielectric grease. I'm going to put a little bit in each one of the ends so that way it gets a good seal without interfering with the electrical components or the electricity. So I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to set this down. I'll come back when I get that done. Okay, I'm done with the dielectric grease, so let's start with the coil wire, which was right here. Alright, we determined that the long end will go into the coil. Snap it into place, and the small end will go into the cap. Put that into place. Then we'll go to number 1, which is one of the long ones. Start at the cap. We know this one was number 1 because it was marked number 1. And we go to the number 1 cylinder. And let's see here if I can get in there. That's the toughest one. Because it's kind of hidden behind a whole bunch of other stuff. And we make sure that it gets on the spark plug and snaps into place. Alright, I think that one's on. Okay, now we have outermost to innermost on the odds. So the next one, so this one here is going to be number 5. And that's going to be one of the medium length spark plug wires. So now we put on number 5. And we put number 5 in on the number 5 spark plug. There we go. I think that's seated. Okay, next one. We go to the shortest one on the odd side. So that would be number 3. So the next one is that one there. Put in the cap. And find number 3. So there's 1, 2, and 3. That one's seated nicely. Alright, now we go back to the long one again, because now we got to go from the outer to the inner on the even side. So the next one is number 6. That one stretches way out over the back here. Alright, then we go to the medium length one, which is going to go to number 2. So that will be number 2, the next one in around. Okay, get on there. There it goes. And then we got the last one, the shorty. That's number 4. So that's the only place left it can go on the distributor. And we put it on the plug. That one on there nicely. Let's double check all these. That one ain't on there as good as it should be. Let's take a look at number 1. That needs to be back a little ways. There we go. I moved it. I moved the cap so that it's closer to the plug, since that one didn't snap on nicely and was moving around a bit too much. Now get in there. There we go. Now that's on there pretty tight. Let's push this on a little tighter then. That ain't on there yet. Why is that not going? It's tough when your fingers don't fit. Alright, I'm going to put this down, and I got to use 2 hands apparently for number 1. It's just too tough, so I'll be back in a minute. Okay, now it's on there pretty good, I think. So that one's on there pretty good, that one's on there pretty good, that one's good, that one's good, that one's good, and that one's good. All of them on the cap. Now I don't know if this thing is in time at all, because earlier I did have to remove the distributor, so it's probably way out of time. But since we're at this, let me put away my dielectric grease. and throw away my box for my plug wires and put away my feeler gauge. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, shall we see if we can get it to fire? What the hell, huh? Let's see. Let's take the air cleaner out. And when I get around to oil bath air cleaners, I'll give you a little bit different view of what's going on. But right now, I'm just going to pull the air cleaner off and set it aside. And then I'm going to hook up the battery cable. Alright, and I'm going to hook up the remote starter. Then I got to go into the truck and put in the key and turn on the key. Then I got to grab my starter fluid. And let's give this a shot. See, it fires. It doesn't sound too bad when it runs. Wow, I think we're pretty close to saying, hey, I'm ready for fuel. I wonder how I would do that. I need to, so this is the fuel line coming into this carburetor. I don't know if this carburetor has enough or is gummed up or what, so somehow I'm going to have to feed it with fuel enough that we can see if it'll run. And looking down that carburetor, it's just a little one barrel. Okay, I think we're done playing with this for today. But I'll look into seeing how I can get it running a little bit longer for maybe next time. Or I'm supposed to be getting the points in here pretty soon, maybe Saturday. We'll be putting points in, and then we also need to figure out how to add fuel to this. And that choke cable is pretty stuck, so I'm gonna have to work on figuring out how to get that to move. But I mean, when it's running, it sounds pretty good, so I think it's not going to be too much more to get it fired up once I get a way to feed it with fuel. Okay, well, been fun. I'll talk to you again later. Bye. Okay, everybody, since I don't really trust the fuel or in the tank, if there is any, or the pump, I decided to rig up a gravity feed to the carburetor. Had to buy a fitting to fit into that end, and now I think I can get fuel into the carburetor. Well, give me a second here and we'll fire it up and see what we can get to happen. Here we go again. Let's give her another shot. Starts right up. And Chris wanted to see the smoke. Not a lot of smoke under there. Now I just gotta get it timed right and get the carburetor cleaned out because I can't give it any gas or it dies. But starts right up like a champ. Doesn't seem to be burning too much oil. Okay, now that I've gotten it to start and run, now just got to get it to run a little better. So let's see, I guess the next step will be to try to rebuild that carburetor or do something different with it. I don't know if I need to buy a new one or if I should rebuild that one. I'll figure that out. I'll have to go look online and see what I can find. Well, thanks for joining me. It's glad to see that she is a runner. That's a good thing.